Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. It's morning for me right now. Um, there's someone whose energy has been circling you, isn't there? And lately, something in that orbit has changed. The pull has intensified. What was once uncertain is beginning to crystallize into something you can almost touch. This isn't about wishful thinking or projection. This is about recognizing a shift in the energy between two souls, and something in you knows that what you're feeling isn't one-sided. Stay with me, because what's revealing itself about this connection might be exactly what you've been sensing in the quiet moments when you're alone with your truth. Let me tell you what I'm seeing in the energy right now. The first thing that comes through carries this frequency of deep recognition, not the surface kind where you meet someone and think they seem familiar. This is the kind that reverberates in your bones, in that ancient part of you that remembers things your conscious mind has forgotten. You might be experiencing a profound shift in how this connection feels to you. What once seemed casual or undefined might now feel like something you can no longer dismiss or minimize or keep at arm's length. Here's what the energy is whispering. When readiness emerges in a connection, it doesn't arrive with trumpets and declarations. It arrives quietly, like dawn breaking over water. You might notice it in the quality of presence between you, in moments of attentiveness that feel different than before, in the way conversations linger longer, in the way silence between you doesn't feel empty but full. There's something shifting in the dynamic, and you're feeling it. Perhaps you're noticing changes in how interactions unfold. Perhaps there's a new depth emerging, not because anyone is forcing it, but because something authentic is being allowed to surface. Um, these changes might be subtle. They might be showing up in ways that are hard to name but impossible to ignore. What I'm picking up on is that this connection carries a frequency you recognize on a cellular level. It's the frequency of something real, something that cannot be manufactured or performed. And this recognition might feel both exhilarating and terrifying for you right now. This reflection invites you to consider what you've been sensing in the spaces between words, in the energy that moves through silence. What's emerging here is this understanding that readiness isn't just about timing or circumstance, it's about your willingness to be witnessed, to be known in ways that strip away all the armor you usually wear. And perhaps you've spent time convincing yourself that solitude is safer than intimacy, that independence protects you from the pain of being truly seen. But there's a shifting happening inside you. You might be beginning to understand that the walls you built for protection have become a prison, that the risk of remaining closed might actually be greater than the risk of opening. And this connection, it's illuminating something you've been hiding from yourself. The energy of this connection feels undeniable because it touches something most people spend their whole lives searching for. You've probably experienced attractions before, relationships that burned bright and fast but ultimately left you feeling hollow. This feels different to you because there's substance here. There's a foundation you can sense. Something built on mutual respect, genuine curiosity, a resonance that exists on multiple levels simultaneously. You might not even fully understand why this person specifically. You might be trying to rationalize it, to make it make sense in the language of logic and reason. But the soul doesn't speak in logic. It speaks in symbols, in feelings, in the kind of knowing that exists beyond thought. Sometimes you just feel it in your solar plexus, in the catch of your breath, in the way certain presences alter the very air around you. You're experiencing that kind of knowing right now. The kind that doesn't need evidence or explanation. The kind that simply is. And here's where it gets deeper. What makes this undeniable for you isn't just the attraction or chemistry, though those currents are certainly flowing. It's the sense that this connection could hold something real, something sustainable, something that doesn't require you to abandon yourself in order to merge with another. This reflection invites you to consider whether you've been preparing for this without realizing it, whether every ending brought you here. What I'm sensing strongly is reciprocity in how this feels to you. You're not pouring energy into a void. You're experiencing moments of being seen, truly seen, beyond masks and roles and the personas you present to the world. And you might be feeling the weight of that visibility, the beauty and the terror of being recognized so completely. You might have moments where doubt creeps in, where you wonder if you're imagining this, if you're assigning meaning to things that are random or coincidental. But pay attention to what you're noticing in the patterns. Pay attention to the consistency you're observing beneath the chaos. Pay attention to what you feel, not just when everything is easy and aligned, but when things require patience or difficult honesty or the courage to stay present through discomfort. In connections where people are ready to go the distance, there's a showing up that happens beyond the peak experiences. There's presence in the valleys too. There's a witnessing of complexity, a holding of space for the parts that aren't always graceful or certain, an acceptance of wholeness rather than fantasy. And this requires something of you. It requires you to allow yourself to be seen fully, to resist the urge to only reveal the parts of yourself that feel safe or acceptable, to trust that authenticity matters more than performance in this dynamic. This reflection invites you to consider what walls you might still be maintaining and whether they're protecting you or isolating you. What might be unfolding for you right now is a process of shedding, releasing old patterns, old fears, old stories about what connection is supposed to look like or how much you're allowed to want from another soul. This process you're in isn't linear. There might be moments where you retreat, moments where you step back, not because the connection isn't real, but because it is. Because true intimacy can feel overwhelming when you're unaccustomed to it. But something in you is ready, something in you is willing. And what's undeniable is the way you keep returning to this gravitational pull, the way you keep choosing to stay present with this, keep finding your way back through the uncertainty because something ancient in you recognizes this as worth the risk. There's no need for you to force this into premature clarity, no need to demand declarations or certainties before you're ready to hold them. What I'm sensing is that your presence matters most right now. Staying present with what is, staying honest about what you feel, continuing to show up as yourself and trusting your own timing. There's also this thread running through the energy that suggests you've been unconsciously preparing for this connection. All the inner work you've done, all the healing, all the ways you've learned to honor your boundaries and truth and non-negotiable needs, all of it has been bringing you to this threshold. And what you're experiencing now is the fruit of that preparation. This reflection invites you to consider what it would feel like to trust not only what's unfolding, but the mysterious intelligence that brought you to this moment. What's crystallizing here isn't a guarantee or predetermined outcome, it's a possibility. a genuine, grounded possibility that you're holding space for. And that's what carries the real magic in this moment. Not fate deciding for you, but you as a sovereign being with full agency choosing to invest in what's emerging. As you move forward, pay attention to your body's wisdom. Notice how you feel when you think about this connection. Does it bring you expansion or contraction, peace or anxiety? Does this dynamic add to your sense of wholeness, or does it fragment you? Are you noticing alignment between words and actions, or is there dissonance in what you're observing? Because an undeniable connection should feel like returning home to yourself, not losing yourself. It should feel like spaciousness to you, not suffocation, like possibility unfolding, not pressure mounting. And if this is a connection where both people are ready to go the distance, you might sense that readiness not just in the intensity of what you share, but in the steadiness of it. In the presence you feel across time, not just in moments of high emotion. In the honoring of both autonomy and bond that you experience. In the space for evolution rather than demand for conformity. What I'm seeing here speaks to your trust. Trust what you know in the marrow of your being. Trust what you feel when you strip away all the noise and doubt and fear. Trust that if this connection deepens, it could do so through the choices you make, day by day, breath by breath, moment by sacred moment. You're not a passive witness in this unfolding. You're actively weaving this story with every intention you set, every boundary you honor, every time you choose authenticity over performance, and whatever emerges from here, your consciousness and courage shape it. The energy has spoken. The current is moving through you, and you already know more than you think you know. That knowing lives in you. Listen to what it whispers.